I said I'd go to your calls. People are on hold. I want to hear from you. I've got some other very important news to hit here. It's just all going insane. And I've got a special report, too. But let's go to Paul in Texas, listening on 1630 AM KKGM. I guess it's up in Dallas-Fort Worth area. Great affiliate up there. Paul, you're on the air. Welcome, sir.
Hi, I got a quick question for you. I've been hearing you bringing up how fluoride water is bad for us. Now, my question is, given that toothpaste has fluoride, is its main component, is this toothpaste bad for us, or the fluoride on toothpaste?
Let me answer that question for you. Did you have any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you for the call. Look, there's different types of fluoride. Okay, there are different acids of fluoride, of sodium fluoride, that have had their molecular structure manipulated to make them even more toxic and acidic. And that's the type of acid they put in the water. They take the base sodium fluoride mixed with hundreds of other toxic chemicals in high amounts, and they put that in the toothpaste. It's toxic waste that they have to store somewhere. They mine fertilizer out of the ground, the phosphate industry. And there's also aluminum byproduct is sodium fluoride. Nuclear weapons development and fuel rod development has a lot of fluoride involved. So they had tons of this left at the end of the World War II, the Manhattan Project. And they said, well, the Soviets put it in the water. This is on record to dumb people down. The Nazis followed suit from them, learned that when they had a deal with Stalin before the war started, and they broke their pact. Well, first they split up Poland. Side issue. The point is that they put large amounts of highly psychoactive adjuvant-type fluoride into the water. And they put it also in the toothpaste at very high levels. Small amounts of regular calcium fluoride are good for you and do strengthen your teeth and bones, and you do need it. You need tiny amounts. I mean, that's why eating an apple, there's some arsenic in it, there's some lead, there's some mercury, but it's bound in with the things. And you would die if you didn't have microscopic amounts of arsenic, lead, mercury, things like that. Even cyanide, is one of the cancer treatments because there's cyanide bound up in the apple seeds, in the cherry seeds, and things like that. It's kind of a natural chemotherapy. I'm not recommending you do that. You can just go look at those. He's written a book about it. We ought to get Gilbert Griffin on about this. He takes what's the little green, they're like oranges, but they're not. They have a name. No, not loquats. It's got a seed that they say is the best mix of it. The point, apricot seeds. There you go. Thank you. The point is that there's good trace amounts of things, and then there's bad industrial styles of it. So they'll argue and say, hey, you need some fluoride. Well, yeah, what type of fluoride and how much of it, is there? When you get plant-derived minerals at the finer, health food stores, it will say on there trace amounts of, lead, arsenic, things like that. Because, well, yeah, sure, your blood's got 10 to 20 times that in it naturally, but just technically you can say it's in the air. Okay, so it's not like you get a little bit of arsenic and it kills you. You actually need it for cell production. A little trick if you want to make somebody really, really sick is you stick a horsehair in a cigarette back when people used to smoke, and it'll almost kill you because it releases cyanide when it burns, because that's already what's in our building blocks. So it's a complex issue, but my dad, 15 years ago said, son, fluoride is good for your teeth. I agree, it's not good in the water, and there's studies, but you need it. Well, that was before he saw the literature and went, well, this is industrial, different type of fluoride. Just like the head dentist, you can look this up, I forget his name, in Canada 20 years ago promoted, hey, we need fluoridation here, until he realized, wait, this is toxic waste fluoride with a bunch of other stuff added to it. So there's some truth, yeah, you need some fluoride, but not that type and not in that amount. It's like they also spray sodium fluoride on the crops as pesticide. EPA finally got forced to say, okay, let's not use that anymore, but they're phasing it out. It's in powdered eggs, powdered milk, at levels that are hundreds of parts. I've seen it in powdered eggs at 600 parts per million. The studies show 1.3 parts per million massively reduces IQ. That's 1.3 parts per million. and they've got 300, 400, 500, 600 in some of these foods. I mean, unbelievable. White flour a lot of times has it in it. So it's compounding. Compounding. I mean, I've talked to my dad about this. We've looked at the research, you know. His argument is, you know, if you could get sodium fluoride toothpaste, you know, removed, that would be a good thing. But some calcium fluoride in there would probably be good. Again, reality is so much more complex. So it gets dumbed down to a point that it's hard to even communicate all this information. But I remember, you know, 10 years ago going to the health food store and, you know, getting liquid vitamins and stuff when my son had been born because you know, I'd read that was good to put some of that in his juice and stuff when he was like a year old. And going to the people at the store going, this says it has trace amounts of lead, mercury, and arsenic. And they explain it. And no, they just have to put that on under federal law because anything that's out of plants, you're juicing plants in a juicer. You're going to have trace amounts of that. So they have to tell you that. That's government, though, trying to make vitamins look bad and real minerals look bad, using and playing on people's ignorance to basically answer your question. I always get long-winded when the callers bring up a point like that. But I do not brush my teeth. I got a call last week saying, well, what do I do? All the toothpaste has fluoride. And I just happened to have been to the store the day before and hadn't put it in my office yet. It was sitting out there on my little desk. I have a radio desk, too. And, you know, it was my natural deodorant. It was my natural toothpaste. Just, I mean, that's great. I mean, I've been brushing my teeth for, it's got to be 20 years with non-fluoride toothpaste. I just look at them. Oh, yeah, hugs. No filling, no caps. Texas Monthly, when I take a picture of my teeth, they said they were scary. And here it is. Here's what I use. This is what you use. Natural tea tree oil neem toothpaste. That's a Rob Dude fluoride free. And I've used this brand. I use a bunch of them. Always trying different stuff. I mean, look, I got a cracked tooth from a fight, and that was fixed with the kind of white tooth-colored filling has fallen off, so it's cracked. Like, look, get my teeth cleaned 3 times a year. Got my wisdom teeth, too. Look at this. Here, zoom in. Yeah. Wisdom teeth. I'm also streaming video of your radio listener. Yeah. Look at that. All right, that's no fillings, no nothing. Well, let's be technically accurate. My wisdom teeth came in with developmental pits, holes naturally in the sides of them that my dad, every 5 years or so, refills with tooth-colored fillings. So let's be technical. I do have 2 fillings in my mouth, but I don't have fillings from decay. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Neville in Canada. Thank you for holding, Neville.
Hi, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, sir.
What you said about Bill Maher's reminded me of from the clip from the movie, documentary movie called "The United States versus John Lennon," where they say John Lennon worshipped life, but Mr. Nixon and Mr. Kissinger worshipped death.
Well, that's right. In fact, we have John Lennon saying that people live in compact cities, that 90+% of the earth is uninhabited, and that we need more children to replace the parents, or society would collapse. He was really smart. I mean, really smart. And he woke up to the Illuminati. His last songs that never get any play were about the Illuminati and devil worshippers and how they were running things, and he was going to expose them. And then we have the letters from Strom Thurmond saying, I want this guy taken out. You know, to Nixon. The Senate was like, get rid of him. People are listening to him. And we can play the clips of him on TV saying the Earth's not overpopulated and it's all a lie. We just need to get better technologies and all this. And so you're absolutely right. Yep, that's right. John Lennon worshiped life. Richard Nixon worshiped death. Well said.
Okay. Also, one point about fluoride is that the largest city in Canada has fluoride added to the water. Try to tell people about that. Luckily, I do not live there. I live in a fluoride.
Well, wait, we just got it pulled out in Calgary, right?
Yes, I was so happy about they took it out of the water in Calgary. I love that. Yeah, and largest city, Toronto, the largest city in Canada, has fluoride in the water. But where I live, there's no fluoride in the water. Happy about that. And interesting. Yeah. Okay. Another point. Oh, quotes. 2 quotes. Number 1, there's a quote. It says, "Do not give in to evil, but proceed ever more boldly against it." And the other quote is, God give me the courage to not give up fighting for what I know is right, even if I feel that it is hopeless.
I hear you. God bless you, because it is the fight that it's all about. It's that heart decision. You know, I'll say this. I am at peace and I love God, and I know that we're reaching exponentially millions of new people a week now. I mean, the show is just absolutely exploding, and it's an incredible responsibility to have this happening. But I'm also saddened when other talk show hosts, even on this network, other people outside who attack me and do things behind the scenes that I'm told about and confirm, and they do it out of pure jealousy and envy and make stuff up and do terrible things. And I'm not sad that they're hurting me, because they're not hurting me. I'm sad for them. You know, I mean, it's because I used to be a harder person, and as I realize good and evil more and more of my worldly shields are gone now. Because in the past, I would just laugh about somebody being jealous. And then now it hurts me that they're so bad, that they're such failures. And it scares me for humanity of what's going to happen during the collapse, that people are so snake-like and weak and envious and jealous and hate other people that are successful because they're successful. It's the nature of envy and ingratitude and weakness. And the love of death and lies and fraud and scurrying around. I mean, just thinking about people that are like that is like, ugh. And I don't know. I've just really changed a lot. I'm more attuned to things around me now than I used to be, and picking up on people. And I get more freaked out by ugliness now. Not ugliness, I mean ugliness of the soul. One day I was down at the big local natural spring-fed pool. I just swam about 2 miles. And I got out and I saw this gross pot-bellied old man. But it wasn't gross, he was pot-bellied. I thought, man, that guy looks like a goblin. He just looks like a demon. He looks evil. He had these super skinny arms that were so skinny, he looked like a cartoon character, something out of a Hellraiser movie, and he was slothfully moving and walking. And I thought, that's wrong. Don't go with your gut. You're you know, being old isn't ugly, because it didn't being ugly. I mean, there's a beauty to, you know, some old people. And I thought, but he just looks so demonic. And he couldn't even tell I was looking at him because I had a ball cap on. And I was about 100 yards away. And as he walked, it was like spiritual. He turned. I'm sitting there on the grass getting dried off. And he looks at me and smiles and digs a big booger out of his nose and just goes, and just his tongue like a god. And I was like, and now every once in a while I'll be swimming and that guy's in there and I actually have like an adrenaline rush of, you know, I mean, and I've kind of, it's just, the thing about becoming a better person, getting closer to God, is you start really seeing evil. You know, like the spirit made his body ugly. You know, it was like, and the guys, and he knew, and it was like the spirit. It was like spiritual. He looked over and ate a booger in front of me, and stuck it in his mouth, and licked his lips at like 10 feet away. And I was like, I mean, but it wasn't the act of eating the booger. It was like a demonic thing, and I was like, oh. I mean, it's not even frightening. It's like, it's evil. I just don't like it. It's like, ah. And so when I see people weak and envious and bad, and I get angry and stuff about wanting to fight the globalists and over-revved like a race car. You know, I've got my own problems. I'm not on some high horse. In fact, my own problems freak me out now and make me get upset. And it's not because I'm self-flagellating myself, beating myself, and I'm some goody two-shoes and a delicate violet that can't handle things. I'm now analyzing myself and seeing what I'm like, and it's just freaking me out. It's freaking me out. I mean, he wasn't even looking at me when I was looking at him, and I was drying off, and then right as I look up, he just turned and just went, and I was just like, oh, and they just ate it and then licked his lips and went, and just went gobbling off, and I was just like, whoa. And he swims like a demon, too. He gets his arms out at the sides and never swings. Just goes, I mean, I just cannot describe. Are you guys getting what I'm talking about here? I mean, and now I literally shudder when he's in the area. Because, I mean, I'm telling you, that guy's got a big demon living in him, man. I mean, that is, you know, and that's the point, is like you start really getting discernment, folks, and it's like, ooh. You know, because you'll find that people trying to act dark and powerful and big, they're not really evil. The devil tricked them that their strength is coming from the devil. When their strength's coming from God, they're just misusing it. You know, I mean, I'm just figuring all this out so fast. Man, and I know why the enemy's coming against us at so many levels. is because we're really having an effect, and we're for life, and we're not for death, and we're for justice, and we want to be good, and we know there's something good, and we are a model to others that you can be strong, you can be bold, you can be good, and the system hates it. And again, for my individual self, I can be destroyed, set up, ruined, my character assassinated with fraud. I'm not even worried about me individually, but then I worry if I stumble and let them set me up or something, then that'll hurt all the people that look up to me. And then that's what's so scary about all this is that I don't want to let people down. And I don't even know what I'm talking about now. I'll go to break and come back with more of your calls. Nelson in Georgia and others. Skeletor is called in. What is it, Donald Rumsfeld? I try to make jokes about it. But I'm telling you, the thing about evil is it sells this idea that it's sexy and big and powerful, and it always encases itself in that because it's really weak. And it's just a stinking, booger-eating, death-loving, grasping weakness trying to be strong. And it's time for good to stand up and step on it. I've done 2 hours and 54 minutes of transmission here and have not separately plugged the books, the videos, the films, the T-shirts, all the stuff that is powerful to help wake you up and wake your family up and meet like-minded people by wearing the T-shirts, the Infowars.com T-shirts and stuff, the ball caps, all of it. It supports us here in what we're doing. And I've got a lot of different little funding mechanisms. PrisonPlanet.tv memberships to see the nightly news and to see the radio show, $5.95 a month. It's really 6 memberships at the price of 1. So $1 a month per membership is you can share your username and passcode. We've got the ProPur water filters discounted. And you can use the promo code WATER and get 10% off on top of that at InfoWarsStore.com. And in the future, when you subscribe at InfoWarsStore.com, we're now going to have glossy magazines. InfoWars magazines, which we sell at cost. The subscription gets you 13 issues to your door, but you can buy them in 10 packs up to 100 packs at cost, and the newsprint that we're selling out of, it's below cost. We're just moving that out right now, InfoWarsStore.com, an incredible tool. People really love print now that it's going away. And so this has been a big success, and I want to thank all of you. Be sure and get the new glossies at cost or the newsprint at below cost at InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. There is a fight between good and evil. And if we will stand up against evil and recognize it, we can turn the tide. But if we just decide that, oh, there's nothing we can do, hell is going to be manifest. Nelson in Georgia, thanks for holding. You're listening via iTunes. Then we've got Bill listening on WTAN 1340 AM in Florida. We're going to go to overdrive, and going to do that. Nelson in Georgia, go ahead. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Alex, I talked last week, and I'm a research scientist, and I want your listeners to be aware of the technology they keep from us. Stan Meyer in the 80s invented the process where every vehicle on the planet can run off of water. Hans Fleischmann with cold fusion. They totally buried that. It's all, from Nikola Tesla's work. And I was wondering if you're aware about the Fox News thing where the CEO of Overstock.com was on there and said he was going to write in Ron Paul, which is pretty cool, and also that Russians are dumping 14 nuclear reactors out there in the Arctic Sea, which are just leaking poison into our ocean.
I mean, if you want to talk about, under the communists, I know they did it in lakes and in the ocean. You're totally psycho crazy. Communists always do stuff like that. They always have the worst environment. Russia doesn't do too much of that now because they're more, it's just horrible. These idiots that think big government is the answer have no historical lens. And yes, I did know that they've dumped dozens and dozens of reactors into the North Sea and places that, that ought to be illegal. But again, then they say, well, give us a global government, we'll fix it. Oh, the globalists are all into it. They're crazy.
You know that we have the technology to change the molecular properties of those nuclear fuel rods so they won't be poisonous anymore, but they don't give it to us. They just let that stuff leach into our oceans.
I was aware of that. People don't know that they've for like 50 years, they're able to create even new elements. They've created a whole bunch of new elements. People have no idea. Reality is so wild and incredible. And reality, folks, is not reality TV. I mean, knowing this now, though, I mean, even like 3 years ago, it was cool to be on Jesse Ventura's TV show or have Discovery Channel or History Channel call up. I've refused a couple of Discovery and History Channel shows the last 6 months. BBC, I've refused. I think this Sunday night, Secrets of the Secret Societies is going to air on the Discovery or History that I'm in. And I'm not even going to watch it. And now I just say no to them. They're like, you're saying no to national television? Yeah, I'm saying no. I don't know, I might say yes down the road, but probably not. I just don't care anymore. None of it means anything. All these pathetic, jealous people of us, you have no idea. I've transcended you. I'm absolutely outside of your petty jealousy and all your crud. Folks, we're going to have no future if we don't come together right now.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
Bill in Florida, a WTAN 1340 AM listener, one of our, I don't know, we have like 10 affiliates in Florida now, one of our great affiliates down there. Bill, thanks for holding. You're on the air, sir.
You're welcome, Al. It's the first time I've spoke to you. I want to tell you something about what Michael Medved took a shot at you the other day, but before I get into that, I want to ask you, what do you know about technology stocks and companies?
I don't know. I mean, I know I have general knowledge. I don't know how to fix a computer. I read the big white papers about the future of the internet and where the globalists are going. So I understand the larger structures, but I don't really follow technology stocks a ton. I know that, I mean, generally, I don't want to comment on it because it's such a complex issue. But look, everybody's taking a shot at me now. I mean, because, you know, the system's tried to suppress us, and now we're going supernova. I mean, the show is just exploding, and so the attacks are coming. So, but Medved has attacked me many times. I was at the RNC in 2004 in New York, and I just politely walked over and said, Mr. Medvedev, or Michael Medved, I'd like to interview you. And he went, Alex Jones, you're the guy that says they're going to blow things up. And he was like trying to get everybody scared to get Secret Service or something. And I understood what he was doing. And I retreated because he wanted to get my credentials obviously taken. He smiled and laughed, you know, like, I ran you out, because they know how to use that fear to herd the cattle. But what did the little pathetic talk show host say about me?
Well, well, before I get into that, real quick, getting back to the technology thing, there was an analyst on there, two of them, matter of fact, and they were talking about this Christian-based company that's based in China, okay? And he claims, or they both say that this is going to be the next Apple of China, and it's called China Tech Faith Wireless. It currently trades on NASDAQ. Its symbol is CNTF. That's China, Nancy, Tom, Frank. And they were real hot on this stock. And the stock is, I think, only about $1 a share. But they said they feel that this thing is going to be the next Apple, and this thing is going to skyrocket.
Yeah, we hear that all the time. And I don't know enough to say, you know, if it's real or a pump and dump. I just don't know. See, if I focused on stocks, I'd be obsessed on it, and then I would know about it. But instead, I just realized it's a big casino in the sky. It's all about insider knowledge. And it's all about the insiders basically more and more robbing everybody. But, I mean, China is, if China doesn't collapse, it will be the center of the world. But it's kind of an all-or-nothing situation from my perspective. But so what did Medved say?
About a week and a half or two ago, he had a guy in there substantiating. Medved's all about fluoride. And he was saying, because I know he was taking a shot at you, don't be listening to these conspiracy shows where they tell you that fluoride is bad for you.
Oh, no, he's attacked me by name many times. I don't even pay attention to him. People send me the clips. So I'm not surprised he doesn't even use my name anymore. I mean, look, they're upset that it's coming out that the American Medical Association has said, take it out of the water. I mean, that's now in the news. What he was hoping his audience didn't know that?
Well, Medved was all pro-fluoride. He says, you keep... Never mind drinking that bottled water. He said, you drink it right out of that cap with the fluoride and all, because it's good for you. And that's how he did it. And it was like almost demonic the way he sounded.
He's like, you take it, you scum.
Yeah,
you filth, you drink what I tell you. Well, listen, food is at the center of the family, everything, and the hearth. And they want to tell you what to eat. And they do. They tell parents, you don't bring your school lunch. You drink what we drink. You take what we take, and we're going to make you take vaccines. And they're like, because it's what you're going to take, you cattle. So anyways.
you ought to check out his. I think it's on Tuesday or something. He has this once a week show where it's Conspiracy Tuesday or something, and he tries to debunk everything that you have supposedly conspiracy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're rising. He's, I don't know, really, not even on the map. So whatever, great for him, good for him. It actually hurts me that he's so evil. I mean, he's a pathetic creature. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.